the beginning of the school year, a number of districts were facing staffing shortages so severe they had to cancel classes. And while officials say things are better now, they still need some extra help. I'm Chris Warner with that story.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jordan Abbey. Jasper County prosecutors charged a man for allegedly assaulting two people and leading police on a chase. Authorities say on Saturday, 27-year-old Mark Thomas of Joplin assaulted his elderly roommates, stole their vehicle, and began driving erratically in a Walmart parking lot. Police responded, gave chase into Duquesne, where Thomas crashed into a tree. He then ran to Cherokee Creek, tried to swim away, but was arrested. Thomas is charged with 2 counts of second-degree domestic assault, 1 count of tampering with the vehicle, and resisting arrest. Cherokee County, Kansas Sheriff's deputies arrested 2 people for attempting to steal from a church. One of those people is Zachary Davenport, who is wanted out of Jasper County, Missouri for property damage. Authorities say they saw Davenport wearing a mask with a reciprocating saw near a church van. Davenport noticed the deputies, got back in his car, driven by a woman, then left. The deputies pulled him over, found stolen property, also drugs in the car. Both were arrested. All right, Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy joining us now. First look at the forecast. Sun peaked out later today, huh?
It did. We really warmed up. We went into lower 80s for afternoon highs, but at the same time, we had winds gusting over 50 at times during the afternoon hours. 81 normal highs, 69, 57 is where we topped out. And we have had a lot of mid and upper level clouds, but we have not had to deal with any strong to severe thunderstorms. Kind of circling around us, thunderstorms down to our south, big band of thunderstorms to our north as well, from northern Kansas, Nebraska into Iowa. We are going to get some scattered thunderstorms in here very late tonight. Of course, we'll break that down for you here in just a bit.
Do you ever have a contact that's not fitting on your eye right? Totally random.
Never worn contacts.
You've never worn contacts. That's my problem right now. So no. Well, pray for me because I got that going on right now. All right, when the school year first began, a number of districts were facing severe staffing shortages. That forced some to cancel classes. KOAM's Chris Warner spoke with one district that says things are improving.
At the start of the school year, Carl Junction joined a number of other districts and ultimately had to cancel class due to staffing issues.
Well, I think last time we visited, it was right in the middle of some uptick in our sickness, some related to COVID, some to other illness. We're pretty healthy now as a student body and as a staff. So in that respect, things are much better.
Superintendent Dr. Phil Cook says they still need substitutes, but with COVID numbers at 0 in the district and overall health up, they're fine in certified positions.
But as far as support staff goes, custodians, we have a couple of openings right now. Just don't have applicants that want to come in and help us. Our kitchens are the same way, pairs. We've seen some challenges with our support staff, but as far as certified staff, things look really good.
Jill Wilkins is a library assistant at the Intermediate Center and is a paraprofessional. Paraprofessionals can oftentimes provide one-on-one support for students who need extra help.
And that really helps the classroom teacher because the para can float and go around and help those and see where they are and know if they need help, and the teacher doesn't have to stop. Or sometimes the teacher doesn't always know, and the para is there that can come alongside and help with that and keep the class flowing, helping those who need help.
But like custodians and kitchen staff, paraprofessionals are also in short supply in the district, which can have a significant impact on the classroom and, more importantly, on students.
Some of the children cannot get all their work done because they have to stop, and they can't keep up sometimes. Or it creates extra work for the teacher because they get their papers turned in and they realize, okay, this child is not able to get this done. We need to go back. It just creates more work.
Wilkins says she does have her substitute teaching certificate and does occasionally get pulled from her regular duties to sub in a class, stressing the need for subs and support staff. In Carl Junction, Chris Warner, KOAM News.
Cook says they have several support positions open and are actively accepting applications for anyone who wants to come help the district. As the temperatures warm up, road crews are going to be out more often working on our streets. When they are, it's important for drivers to take it slow and make sure everyone stays safe. MoDOT today hosted an event in Joplin to kick off the 2022 Work Zone Awareness Week. Employees at the event shared stories about their work in general, also close calls they've experienced while on the job.
Some of the things we see every day is those close calls. It's way too many close calls. People not paying attention, just on the phone, speeding through a work zone.
Officials say last year, 17 people died in work zones on Missouri roadways, and since 2000, 34 MoDOT's employees have been killed on the job. Oronogo Fire Protection District says it feels like Christmas in April because of a shipment of new equipment. Officials say back in December, the Missouri Department of Conservation awarded the district a 50-50 grant, meaning they will cover half the cost of the new equipment. Today, that equipment came in, including new gloves, hoods, flashlights, helmets, goggles, and a backpack water pack.
Oh, it's very needed. Our equipment, just like anything, it gets wore out. And with a small town, small budget like we are, without things like this, we won't be able to replace equipment as needed. The
Oronogo Fire Protection District staffs 4 people, but relies also on the support of 14 volunteer firefighters. Well, police have identified a person of interest, as they're calling him, after a mass shooting on a subway train in Brooklyn, New York. 23 people were hurt, but none of the injuries are life-threatening. Elise Preston reports from Brooklyn.
The morning rush hour attack terrorized a subway station in Brooklyn, New York.
We are truly fortunate that this was not significantly worse than it is.
Police say a man wearing a construction vest and helmet detonated 2 smoke canisters on the Manhattan-bound train and opened fire, shooting at least 33 times as the train pulled into the station, striking 7 men and 3 women.
There was people screaming for medical assistance. It was just a scary moment.
Police found a key to a U-Haul truck at the scene and later Tuesday located the truck parked in Brooklyn. Investigators say a man identified as 62-year-old Frank James rented the truck in Philadelphia. They're calling him a person of interest.
We are endeavoring to locate him to determine his connection to the subway shooting, if any.
Police say James possibly made concerning comments online about homelessness, New York City, and Mayor Eric Adams, whose security has been increased.
We're just doing it just to be on the safe side.
President Biden was briefed on the shooting and said the Department of Justice and the FBI are working closely with the NYPD here on the ground.
My wife Jill and I are praying for those who are injured and all those touched by that trauma. And we're grateful for all the first responders who jumped into action, including civilians.
Police say they don't have any information yet about the gunman's motivation.
Biden administration is chalking high gas prices up to what they're calling the Putin price hike. New Bureau of Labor Statistics confirm what most Americans are feeling. Everything, not just fuel, costs more. Fox News correspondent Lauren Blanchard is in D.C. now with more.
Inflation is rising at the fastest pace in more than 40 years. The March report from the Labor Department showed an increase of 8.5%.
I'm doing everything within my power by executive orders to bring down the price and address the Putin price hike.
Inflation has been on a rapid rise over the last year.
I've seen inflation that's doubled, tripled sometimes.
Something most Americans are painfully aware of when they check their bank accounts.
Everything's going up at least $1, which, adds up, of course, especially when, you have kids and got to get groceries.
The Biden administration argues Russia's invasion of Ukraine is a major factor for rising prices, but not everyone agrees. Moderate Senator Joe Manchin saying, quote, instead of acting boldly, our elected leaders and the Federal Reserve continue to respond with half measures and rhetorical failures, searching for where to lay the blame. President Biden trying to ease some of the sticker shock, especially at the gas pump. Gas showed a 48% increase in the March report. He is easing restrictions on E15 gas, the fuel with a 15% ethanol blend usually cannot be sold in most places during the summer months. But the Environmental Protection Agency is going to lift that restriction to allow for more fuel options at lower prices.
All we have to do is open up North America to crude production, etc., and the problem would be solved in 90 days.
The EPA's order on E15 gas goes into effect in June. The White House estimates it will save drivers about 10 cents a gallon. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14 takes this time to honor another four-state hero. Jonathan Murphy has served in the U.S. Marines, spending time in Iraq. Native of Webb City, Missouri, Murphy has won numerous awards. We are proud to thank and salute Corporal Jonathan Murphy. He's tonight's four-state hero. Doug Hedges next with a complete look at the forecast, and later, Pittsburgh State Gorillas preparing for Friday night's spring football game. Going to hear from the team in sports.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a warm, windy day for us today. Temperatures lower 80s during the afternoon, but also winds gusting at times over 50 miles per hour, which is a little crazy. And it's going to stay windy as we go through the overnight hours tonight. We are going to get some storms in here by morning, not till 4 or 5 o'clock. Some of those could be a little stronger, maybe low-grade severe. Then we turn much colder through the day. We have another storm system Friday. Of course, you can get my long-range forecast on my month-long blog. That is KOAM newsnow.com. Look at our temps, still way up there, low to mid-70s. And we're really going to hold 60s and 70s until our cold front works into the region. That's a long ways away. That's way out across the northeastern parts of Kansas. Look at the strong southerly winds across the region. Still sustained 20 to 30, and then we're getting gusts even higher than that. Sometimes we're getting gusts upwards of 30 to about 35 miles per hour. Currently outside, we are sitting at 73, south winds at 25, humidity is at 68%. You can see some mid and upper level clouds which have streamed throughout the afternoon into the evening hours. But besides that, we're watching this line of thunderstorms out across north central Kansas. It's a severe line, a lot of wind, a lot of hail. This extends all the way north into parts of Nebraska and also Iowa and even Minnesota. Now, as this line approaches, it will weaken and pretty much fall apart, but it will regenerate on top of us late tonight into the morning hours. Also a little bit of severe weather down through Texas and parts of Arkansas, again, heading away from us. So let's go through time. You can see this band weakens as it pushes in. Then it will start to regenerate 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. Thunderstorms get going across central Missouri, push east, big severe weather event, eastern Missouri, eastern parts of Arkansas as we go into the daytime hours tomorrow. For us, most of the night is fine. We'll just kind of hang out. We get that band of rain that kind of falls apart. But look at the thunderstorms start to regenerate. So here's 5:30 in the morning. And again, a few of these could be stronger, maybe low-grade severe, really from 5 to about 8 a.m. Then after about 8, the front's through, then it's just scattered showers, scattered thunder showers for the rest of the morning hours. Here's 11 a.m. We drop into the 40s, rain's out of here. Kind of cool for us tomorrow. We're going to hang out 40s to about 50 degrees, and then we're going to bottom out tomorrow night, at least down into the mid-30s, so we could get a pretty good frost across the region. And then we'll start to see some improvements by the time we head into Thursday. So an afternoon high tomorrow, 51, after some morning thunderstorms. 34 tomorrow night, 63 on Thursday, not bad. 70 on Friday, some thunderstorms back in late Friday, a few leftover showers on Saturday. As of right now, Easter Sunday looks okay. We do have a storm system. Looks like it'll mainly stay to our north. Thunderstorms in again on Tuesday.
Yeah, from Thursday forward, temperatures look pretty good.
Yeah, they really do.
All right, Doug, thanks so much. Coming up, as Doug was illustrating over there, Mother Nature giving out a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
It may be spring, but in some parts of the country, it absolutely still feels like winter. I'm Fox Weather's Will Nunley. I'll have that story coming up.
More than half of adults around the world between the ages of 20 to 65 have suffered from a headache in the last year. That's according to a new review of several hundred studies. 14% of people were reported experiencing migraines, and all headaches were more common in women than men. New research shows people hospitalized with COVID-19 rarely experienced serious heart inflammation. A large international study looking at the first year of the pandemic found just 2 out of every 1,000 patients experienced acute myocarditis triggered by the virus. Winter weather still affecting some parts of the country, even as we start off spring. The Pacific Northwest dealing with some surprise snow flurries this week, as parts of the Midwest could be next in line for severe weather. Fox Weather's Will Nunley has the story.
A rare winter snowstorm blanketing the West Coast on Monday. Northern California up through Washington state, all feeling the effects of a cold front. Temperatures feeling more like January than April.
I saw that it had a chance of snow. I thought it was just going to be rain, especially with the warm weather last week. This is a complete surprise.
All that heavy, wet snow ranging from a couple of inches up to a foot in some areas, knocking down tree branches onto roads and causing widespread power outages.
I heard a big noise, which was the tree falling on the power lines.
And then a little while later than that, then the transformer blew.
While the weather may have been the source of headaches for homeowners and drivers, not everyone was unhappy about the unexpected winter wonderland. Kids in Portland got the day off from school, others in Washington taking advantage of the opportunity for some late season sledding.
Packed a lunch, brought the soccer bench. We're prepared.
We had like a 4-day weekend, and then it started snowing, so we're like, oh, yay, we have a 5-day weekend now.
Blizzard conditions could soon move into the Midwest. Meteorologists warned that more tornadoes like this one seen in Arkansas could threaten the region within the next few days. And those warnings include the possibility of strong wind and even hail. Parts of western Arkansas saw baseball-size hail Monday evening. Outside of Little Rock, Will Nunley, Fox Weather.
Still ahead, Ukraine preparing for what's next.
Ukrainian forces are gearing up to counter a large Russian offensive in the east. In Lviv, Ukraine, I'm Alex Hogan with more on this story coming up.
Government requirement for travelers to wear a mask on planes and other public transportation is set to expire on Monday. Regulators still need to decide whether to end the mandate or extend it. This as COVID cases rise in some parts of the U.S. It's been one of the most controversial topics, as we know, in American aviation during this pandemic, and a trigger for violent passenger attacks. Still, studies show most Americans favor an extension. A recent Harris Poll survey finds 6 in 10 support staying masked up. Within the industry, though, opinions vary.
Health and scientific data have to be at the center, at the core of any decision going forward. We all look forward to the day when masks are no longer needed, but until that day, it's really important that we're all cooperating.
We have an unpredictable virus with many variants, but we're seeing again and again these variants are less severe.
A letter from 4 industry groups says the overwhelming majority of the country no longer needs to wear masks indoors. The White House says the CDC is still determining its next move. The death toll is climbing in cities being hammered by the Russian military as Ukrainian forces prepare to repel a major Russian offensive in the east. Fox News correspondent Alex Hogan has more from Ukraine.
The Russian military ramping up attacks on cities in Ukraine's southeast, paving the way for what's expected to be a major offensive aimed at taking over the entire Donbass region. There's been heavy fighting reported around Izium, with Russian forces now about 12 miles outside of the city. Russian combat power has been reduced by at least 20% since the start of the war. But Russian President Vladimir Putin claims the invasion is going according to plan, and he plans to press on.
The operation will continue until its full completion and the fulfillment of the tasks that have been set.
The hardest hit city so far, Mariupol, where the civilian death toll could be as high as 20,000. Ukrainian officials say shelling is happening virtually around the clock, and Russian troops are not allowing civilians to leave.
Every day, mass graves are found, thousands of victims, hundreds of cases of cruel torture. The bodies of bound people are found in manholes and basements.
Meanwhile, both sides are admitting the peace talks remain stalled as the fighting intensifies. And experts say as more evidence emerges of alleged Russian war crimes, it will be difficult for Ukraine's president to make a deal.
He wants to stop those atrocities by driving them out. He's not looking for a deal at this time. He's looking to remove the Russians from his territory.
Some Ukrainian soldiers are reporting a possible chemical attacks outside of Mariupol, but the Pentagon cannot confirm these reports. In Lviv, Ukraine, Alex Hogan, Fox News.
All right, so next time you go and catch a game over at Kauffman Stadium, you might want to try this sandwich making headlines. Gonna learn what all goes into it. Time to talk some food. First up, Krispy Kreme. That company wants to ease pain at the pump. Select locations of the donut chain will be offering a dozen glazed donuts for the price of a gallon of unleaded regular gas. The deal is going to be available on Wednesdays through May 4th, starting this week. Krispy Kreme will set the price based on the AAA national average price of a gallon of regular gasoline on the Monday of each week. Customers can get up to 2 dozen donuts for the price of a gallon of gas. The price is normally in the $10 range, FYI. All right, start of each new baseball season is exciting, right? And it also means new and strange ballpark food creations. Take this example from the KC Royals. Their food provider, Aramark, created a barbecue sandwich with pulled pork, barbecue sauce, bacon bits. Okay, we're sounding good so far, right? Also, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups on the sandwich. Aramark has unique creations at other ballparks they serve, including Fluffer Nutter Fries in Boston, Pickle Poutine in Toronto, poutine, also a PB&J burger in Philly. I'd give that a try. Once, probably only once, but I'd give it a try, right? 30 more minutes, news, weather, and sports coming away. How some volunteers are doing more than just gardening work. They're also helping people in need of food.
U.S. sanctions on Russia could trigger a surge in cyber threats. I'm Kevin Cork, and I've got details on how you can protect your wallet and your information online. That's coming right up.
There was a celebration of life today, not for one person, but for many. Freeman Health System and Mercy Hospital honored organ donors and recipients. One person's death gave another life. People in attendance could express gratitude for receiving an organ, eye, or tissue donation.
Today we're honoring Jeremiah Broadwell, our son, our oldest child, for donating his organs. He was able to donate a kidney to one person and a kidney and a liver to another person. So we're all here together as a family because Jeremiah was a family person.
Health officials report that nationally, more than 100,000 people are waiting for life-saving transplants. A new name is added to that list every 10 minutes. Then there's this: 20 people die every day while waiting for an organ. All right, it's garden time, and volunteers with the Joplin Area Chamber of Commerce are helping people in need. The Crosslines Food Pantry has its own garden that feeds visitors. Today, volunteers planted seeds, tilled, also spread fertilizer.
I love volunteering and I love bringing awareness to these nonprofits that do such good in our community and being able to be a part of it. And we've made a lot of friends because other people who like volunteering come out and join us. And so we've got quite the network now.
Crosslines, by the way, is located at 320 School Avenue in Joplin. Middle-aged women with higher levels of PFAS chemicals in their blood may be at greater risk of developing diabetes. Scientists say for the last several decades, those chemicals have been widely used in everything from household products to cosmetics, and they are highly resistant to being broken down. Many people think about their heart health, their own heart health, but what about our furry friends? Dogs' heart issues can progress with time, or they can be born with them. That's according to a report by American Heart Association News. The Veterinary Centers of America says nearly 10% of doggos in the U.S. suffer from heart disease. Some of the symptoms include coughing, shortness of breath, accelerated breathing, and even occasional fainting. So keep an eye on man's best friend. The U.S. is one of many countries imposing strict sanctions on Russia after its invasion of Ukraine. But now, federal officials are warning those sanctions could cause Russian cyber criminals to retaliate. Fox News correspondent Kevin Cork has more on who could be at risk and how you can protect your assets online.
The Justice Department will use every available tool to find you.
Federal officials warn of an increase in cyber threats from Russian criminals and oligarchs trying to evade U.S. sanctions, citing the potential for them to target the finances of American businesses and private citizens or hide their assets and redistribute their wealth.
We have our eyes on every yacht and jet. We have our eyes on every piece of art and real estate purchased with dirty money.
Criminal justice professionals say the longer the war drags on, the more financial pain the sanctions could cause. And as their funds dry up, cyber criminals could prepare to launch new attacks on your digital wallet.
Hackers, whether working on behalf of the state or on their own, could start targeting cryptocurrencies as a means to get money back.
Besides making sure your username and password are strong, officials say be sure to watch out for email scams trying to obtain your login credentials.
It's imperative that you don't respond.
The FBI also sounding the alarm, issuing a new report warning of business email compromise. It's a process where cyber criminals hack into email accounts and trick victims into sending money, usually for bills, to a bank account established by the thief. Cyber experts also predict hackers will start focusing more on attacking critical infrastructure, places like hospitals and power companies, to try to inflict greater harm and seek higher amounts of ransomware. I'm Kevin Cork, Fox News.
A bit later, Johnny Depp's defamation suit.
Opening statements begin in the trial between actor Johnny Depp and his ex-wife, actress Amber Heard. I'm David Spunt in Fairfax, Virginia. That story coming up.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a warm, very windy day for us today. Winds gusting over 50, about 52 miles per hour at times. We are going to get a dying line of storms working into the region over the next 4 or 5 hours, and then we'll see some more storms regenerate later on tonight. Turning much colder tomorrow. Next system moves in on Friday. Of course, you can get my long-range forecast on my month-long blog, KOAMnewsnow.com. Look at the winds. Look at the temps. We're still into the lower 70s. It's still windy. It's going to stay windy until our cold front works in, but we have south winds 20 to 30 miles per hour at times, which is kind of crazy. We had winds gusting much higher than that earlier. Actually, we still have winds gusting in that 30 to 40 mile per hour range. So they are getting up there as we go through the evening hours. Currently outside, 7th and range line, 73 south winds, 25. Humidity is at 68%. We just had some clouds today. We've been dry. We've had a highly capped environment, which is like a lid on the atmosphere. It is a lid on the atmosphere, so storms can't work up and bust through that lid, which is great because if we didn't have the lid, we would have had severe thunderstorms. We do have big storms out across central, north central parts of Kansas. Look at all the severe weather. But what's happening here is right in front of it, the cold front has overtaken the storms and overtaken the line of thunderstorms. So this front will continue to distance itself from the big line of storms. That means it cuts off the humidity. That means these die as they work into southeastern Kansas. They'll be pretty severe for the next couple hours, but by the time they make it here, things are going to calm down. So we're kind of getting split to the north, to the south with showers and thunderstorms. So as this line dies, as it heads toward us, we could still get a few stronger ones in our northwestern counties, and then it's done. We will see storms along the front try to regenerate very late tonight along the I-44 corridor, and then they blow up into a big severe weather event, central and eastern parts of Missouri. So we're getting overall fairly lucky from this storm system. Let's get a much closer look. Let's go through the rest of the night. Pretty good. Here comes the dying line of storms. As the front pushes in, scattered thunderstorms along the I-44 corridor. This is like 5, 6, 7, 8 a.m. Some of these could be a little stronger, maybe low-grade severe. Not expecting anything tornadic out of these, but showers and thunderstorms through the morning hours, and then everything pushes east. We start to dry out in the afternoon, but look at our temps. Not very good as we kind of hang into the 40s to near 50 all afternoon. Northwesterly winds at about 10 to 20, and then temperatures are going to drop not too far from freezing tomorrow night. 34, 63 on Thursday, 70 on Friday, 57 on Saturday, 63 Sunday. More thunderstorms next Tuesday.
So as you said, just a reminder, the majority of Easter Sunday looks pretty good, huh?
Majority of it right now, yes.
Okay. Doug Heddy, thank you, man, as always. All right, coming up in sports, going to hear from the Pitt State football team as they prepare for Friday night's spring game. Plus, Columbus aims to stay undefeated in a CNC doubleheader against Galena. Jacob Leonard has that and more after this break.
The Pittsburgh State Gorillas are on the road tonight facing the Emporia State Hornets. Pitt State is aiming for the season sweep over ESU after winning each of their first 2 meetings. Now, the Gorillas enter the night in second place in the MIAA with a 17-6 conference record. This game just brutal, man. Pitt State gives up 6 runs in the 9th, including a walk-off grand slam, falling 11-10. For the Gorillas, Brett Daly goes 3 for 5 with 2 home runs and a pair of RBIs. Missouri Southern also in action tonight on the road against Rogers State. The Lions trying to bounce back after getting swept by Central Missouri last week. And that's just what they did. They win this one 2-1. Matt Miller drives in the only 2 runs of the game for Southern. The Columbus Titans are off to a red-hot start this spring. The Titans are 8-0 to begin the season. So far, they've outscored those 8 opponents 83-15. Now, tonight, Columbus aims to stay perfect at home for his CNC doubleheader against Galena. Now, here's game 1. First inning, Landon Midget pulls it into left field. Base hit brings Jackson Harity home for the first run of the day. The next batter, it's Brett Hamilton. Drives this one high in the air to left center, goes off the bottom of the fence. Cade Saporito comes in to score, make it 2-0. Hamilton in there for the double, but the Titans not even close to being done. Back to the top of the order, Jackson Harity up. Puts a good swing on it. Pole gets in the way here a little bit, but it clears the fence. 3-run jack. Columbus puts up 9 in the first. The second inning, more long ball action. It's Landon Midget turning on this one. Look, actually goes off the foul pole out there. 3-run homer for Midget. All Columbus in game 1. Titans finish it in 3 innings, 17-0. On game 2, Titans trying to stay hot and stay perfect. This one definitely a little closer, but Columbus wins that one as well, 6-2. Titans are now 10-0 to begin the season. And the Major League's I-70 series begins tonight. Cardinals host the Royals for game 1 of a quick 2-game set. Cards win game 1 tonight, 6-5. Nolan Arenado continues his hot start with a 2-run home run. Albert Pujols also goes deep tonight for his first home run of the season. The Pittsburgh State Gorillas are in their final week of their spring football schedule. And Pitt State will finish up spring drills with their annual spring game on Friday night at Carney Smith Stadium. Now, the Gorillas will have one more practice on Thursday before they hit the field for the spring game on Friday. Now, this year, like last year, it's not going to be drafted teams or anything like that. The spring game will be offense against defense. And here's how the scoring will work. Take a picture or a screenshot or whatever if you're going on Friday. On offense, scoring pretty normal. Plus, they'll get a point for every first down and every 20-yard play. On defense, though, of course, a turnover, the biggest way to score. Those guys also get points for forcing punts, tackles for loss, sacks, stops on 2-point conversions, and 4th downs. Anyways, here's Coach Wright on what he's looking for Friday night.
You really want to see that game come down to the end, the final drive, as it did last year. And, as I told the guys this before, too, as the head coach and coaching the offensive side, I want to see the yards tough to gain on offense. And, and the defense isn't making all their big plays because we're snapping the ball over the quarterback's head. They're also making good plays, too, because they were in the right gap and tackling the ball carrier. So I just want to see good, clean football.
And that's it for sports. We're back after this.
Actor Johnny Depp and his ex-wife, actress Amber Heard, face off in a Virginia courtroom. Attorneys for both sides began making their case today. Fox News correspondent David Spunt has more.
Are we ready with opening statements?
Opening statements getting underway in Fairfax, Virginia, in the case between actor Johnny Depp and his ex-wife, actress Amber Heard.
Mr. Depp built a reputation as one of the most talented actors in Hollywood. A respected artist. Today, his name is associated with a lie.
Depp is suing Heard for $50 million, saying she defamed him in a 2018 Washington Post op-ed about being a survivor of domestic abuse. While the piece never mentioned Depp by name, the actor's attorneys insist it damaged his reputation. Heard's attorneys will argue she told the truth and Depp was always the aggressor.
Depp's side really has the benefit of hearing what Amber has to say and what her allegations are.
By Monday afternoon, 7 jurors plus 4 alternates were selected for the trial. They could hear from a long list of high-profile witnesses, including Tesla CEO Elon Musk and actor James Franco. The Virginia trial is part of a bitter legal battle between the couple. In 2020, Depp lost his libel case against a British tabloid that labeled him a wife-beater. A UK judge ruled Depp repeatedly assaulted Heard and made the actress fear for her life.
They've already gone through this. They've already aired a lot of dirty laundry.
The trial is expected to last 6 weeks. In Fairfax, Virginia, David Spunt, Fox News.
Coming up, going to check out Mark Wahlberg's new movie opening tomorrow. Also going to hear from him about faith-based comedy legend Gilbert Godfreed has died. The longtime funny man, known for his raspy, high-pitched growl, reportedly passed away this week after a battle with heart disease. The Brooklyn-born comedian started doing stand-up at the age of 15, performed for 1 season on Saturday Night Live as well. He also appeared in memorable roles in such big movies as Beverly Hills Cop 2, Problem Child 2, right there. Fans will always remember him as well for his beloved role as the voice of the parrot in Aladdin. Godfreed leaves behind a wife with whom he was married for 25 years and 2 children. Gilbert Godfreed was 67 years old. Mark Wahlberg transforming as boxer turned priest Father Stu in his new film in theaters tomorrow. A movie he says brings an inspiring story to screens, which also inspired him personally. Here's Fox's Ashley Dvorkin with a preview.
Mark Wahlberg leads the based-on-true story movie Father Stu about a boxer turned priest embracing a second chance. The star and producer shared some of his experience making the faith-based film.
I just knew that it would be really inspiring, and I think hopefully this will be the first of many and a new genre that's created where it's quality faith-based movies that are still real and unapologetic and that speak to people that may be struggling or, because most faith-based movies are very safe. They're always kind of preaching to the choir, and this is a movie that we wanted to make for everybody.
Jackie Weaver also feels this story can reach a broad audience.
I think this is a film that religious people can love as well as non-religious people because it doesn't proselytize, it doesn't get preachy.
Teresa Ruiz counts that among several reasons she wanted to be part of it.
Faith in general, faith that things can be better even when they're looking like they're terrible. Also for me, like something that I really liked was that it portrayed my community. I'm from Oaxaca, I'm Mexican, so it portrayed my community in such a beautiful light.
It's also a transformational journey through a few chapters of Father Stu's story, and Wahlberg shared when he felt closest to his character.
The first 2/3 of the film, and I'm on a mission to be more like Stu in the third act of the film. I would hope to be as positive an influence and handle all the adversity and challenges that he faced with as much dignity and grace. We shouldn't pray for an easy life, but the strength to endure a difficult one.
In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
Seems like a good movie. That's our time for tonight. Thanks so much for joining us. Going to leave you with video of a soapbox derby in San Francisco. Pretty cool stuff right there. Hey, be safe. Do this all again tomorrow. See you then.